Welcome back to the Tempo Storm Wild Meta Snapshot. Contrary to the standard metagame, Wild has had some drastic changes since the nerfs. While the changing of Mana Worm and Giggling Inventor modified a few decks on the ladder, the main hitter to the Wild metagame was the nerf to Aviana. By increasing her mana cost to 10, the deck that the entire meta was polarized around was nuked from orbit. Combo Druid decks now have to either run Innervate or Emperor Thaurissan, and Juicy Psych Melon is no longer able to draw your whole combo. This has led to a significant decrease in the strength of Druid decks, and actually has led to standard variants of combo decks being stronger than the Aviana-Kun combo, which now takes much longer to pull off. With the removal of Combo Druid from the upper echelons of the meta, there has been a significant shift. Decks that were blocked out by that strategy are now viable decks again. And once the nerfs hit, the Wild meta was almost like that of a new expansion. There was a lot of deck experimentation, and many fan-favorite decks of the past are back in full force, like Big Priest, Q-Block, Kingsbane, Combo Reno Priest, and Exodia Mage. Control decks are able to be greedier, combo decks can be a bit slower, and mid-range decks are back on the menu. The top of the tier list, however, has not changed much. Odd Rogue and Even Shaman are still the top two decks due to their strong starting minions and ability to push damage. The reign of these two decks being top of the meta has been persistent, and it'll require a shakeup of the meta before they become overthrown. Odd Rogue is one of the faster variants of aggro at the moment, and with Henge Clan Thug along with a tempo-heavy 2/2 dagger, the deck can take control of the board early, then burn you out with Deadly Poisons, Cold Bloods, and Leroy. The nerf to Giggling Inventor was not super impactful to this deck, as Giggling Inventor was a fringe tech card in the Wild variant of Odd Rogue. Cards which are filling the spot that may have been filled by Giggling Inventor include Dark Iron Skulker, Argent Horse Rider, Shady Dealer, and even Dr. Boom in some cases. Players have seen significant success with these two decks since the nerfs came into play. One notable example is Awe Dragon, who made a push to the top of the Wild Legend ladder using these decks and ultimately finished rank 1 with Even Shaman for the month of October. Following behind these two powerhouses are the remaining decks from Tier 1 that were not hit by the nerfs, with Odd Paladin and Reno Lock. All four decks have remained fairly similar to their pre-nerf builds, plus or minus a few changes in tech cards. Specifically, Reno Lock no longer needs to run Deathlord and Dirty Rat to be viable. Dirty Rat typically remains as a tech slot in the deck, but the extra space allows for some additions. Recently, there's been an uptick in the amount of play seen by Galaka Crawler, as pirates have become a prominent feature in Odd Rogue, and Pirate Warrior has started to come back into the meta in a strong way. Resurrect Priest comes in the middle of Tier 1 this week, as it's no longer oppressed by the threat of being killed by a combo deck before turn 10. So its greedy late-game strategies finally are able to be pulled off, while maintaining some game against aggressive decks with strong board clears and the ability to cheat out large minions early. This deck has been out of the meta for most of Boomsday due to the reach that a Druid-based metagame has. Now that Druid's been dethroned, expect to see a whole lot of Barns in your future. Jade Druid is by far the strongest Druid deck at the moment, and sneaks into the bottom half of Tier 1. As the meta has shifted away from Combo Druid, the pendulum may have shifted a bit too far, and decks are still susceptible to being beaten by a Druid in a controlling manner, with immense armor gain and the ability to go infinite with Jade Idols. Skulking Geist has come back into the meta, however, and Dirty Rat and Deathlord are no longer auto-includes in Reno and Control decks, so they're back to being tech choices. The bottom of Tier 1 is wrapped up with Pirate Warrior, which has not seen Tier 1 since last year. With the increase of greedy control and combo decks, any aggro deck is a fine choice, and Pirate Warrior is put together well enough to be favored more often than not across the board. With the announcement of Rastakan's Rumble, this meta seems to be the baseline for setting up what we'll see in the next expansion. At the moment, the meta isn't completely fleshed out yet, which is honestly rather refreshing, as the meta will fail to be stale for the next month and an influx of new cards will continue to spice up the metagame. We look forward to this new expansion, as wildcards will most certainly gain extra synergies with cards released in this upcoming expansion. However, we're still looking at a healthy metagame that might have a bit more to be explored before the next set drops. Thank you for watching our Wild Meta Snapshot video. What do you think? Leave a comment below, and don't forget to leave a like and follow as well, and always stay tuned for our next Tempo Storm Hearthstone videos. Thanks for watching.